Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shannon Scott, the Bard of Bonaventure, coming to you from inside of the earthly celestial realm, the place where we tell stories every day, Bonaventure Cemetery. And much like Noah being met by the angel after the flood, we are met here by Michael the angel bearing the olive branch, much like the olive branch that was given to Noah to let him know that the flood had subsided and that all would be, let's say, peaceful for the future. And so that's essentially the statement from Michael standing here between these two beautifully carved headstones to Mary Schaefer and her husband, Peter Schaefer. And notice that layering. We have two headstones essentially within an existing headstone at the grave of husband and wife. It's just a fantastic expression, amazing depth in that sense. But it's almost like there's a lot going on here, and it's hard to capture in maybe one video, but essentially it's like heaven is acknowledging Peter and Mary as kind of role models of the earth and acknowledging that they have earned the great reward, the great victory of heaven or paradise. And you know, Michael the angel would often appear to people on their deathbeds, or so goes the mythology. And as a way to frustrate Satan, he would offer the dying a chance at redemption. So I think that's the meditation here. It's like Peter and Mary being acknowledged by heaven as far as, you know, they've been accepted. But at the same time, for the observer, the meditation is somewhat, you know, how have you conducted your earthly life? You know, will you follow Peter and Mary into heaven and paradise? So yeah, there's that sort of meditation about how you've lived your own life in the earthly realm. We also see the father and mother names here, the terms father and mother. I think that's also part of the heavenly boast or the earthly boast, that they served as these role models for their children, these leaders in the family. Very, very big statement, which kind of brings me to the subject of the bare feet. The forward foot with the tunic or the robe slightly folded back or drawn up is a statement of acknowledging or meditating on the life of Jesus on the earth and also in heaven. But I also think it's interesting that the leaning or forward foot is pointing to, in some sense, Peter's grave, and the more sort of the softer reclined leg or foot is pointing to Mary's name. And I think that is sort of a statement of the duality of the masculine and the feminine. Whether that's conscious or not, you know, I don't know, but that's my interpretation. This is something that John Walls, the sculptor, would have been conscious of already. I mean, you know, these are the kinds of things he was trained in and was thinking, and sort of reflective of that, the way the feet are ordered. We also have these two roses, and you know, notice there's one here on this side for perhaps Peter, and then the feminine here expressed with Mary's rose tucked right behind his. So even in the way the roses are weeping here in the, or wilting rather, or weeping, we have this expression of that duality of the masculine and the feminine. And much like a lot of plots, we see the baptismal font thing expressed here again, usually planted with ivy vines, but sitting here barren now. But it's like a double bathtub, a double baptismal font for Peter and Mary. And of course, we need to acknowledge the Greek key pattern, that ancient pattern of the cyclicalness of the world, the universe, the eternal. Just lovely. And of course, you know, the Greek symbol with the Greek olive branch. Look at that olive. You can almost pluck it and eat it. What a great detail. So, yeah, it's interesting Christian mythos expressed here. And then also a little bit of that classical Greek kind of connotation as well. One day I will personally bemoan when they clean the monument, because I'm a big fan of working in charcoals and pastel, and I just love the dust quality here. It almost like brings out these details in an intentional way. And I think that mold does add kind of to a vibe of the light and dark, the good and evil, the heaven and hell perhaps. And of course in Bonaventure, with the being the setting for midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil in some respect, we're always using that term good and evil. So we kind of see that in the natural mold, I suppose, spread here. The wings are just tilted in such an amazing way. Like literally the angels about to take flight with the spirits of Peter and Mary. And of course they were the deliverers of souls to heaven. And it's also, too, like the great weight of the skies is being held up by these wings. These are just such sumptuous details. But yeah, the angel's opening the skies as a path for Mary and Peter through the skies to heaven directly. So it's a very powerful statement at many levels here, and at the grave of Peter and Mary Schaefer. Also notable, the signature. Essentially, if you had John Walls, the sculptor, sign your monument, he charged you twice the cost of the monument. And in that gold dollar era, that was some heavy expense. But he was famed mostly for doing the Gettysburg Monument to the Pennsylvania 106th Infantry, the silenced drums of Gettysburg. So having his autograph was a very, very big brag. And with the U.S. Copyright Office coming online at about the same time, or a little after the advent of photography, this was part and parcel to his career. I mean, when catalogs came out, you would find other sculptors in other towns kind of ripping your artwork off. So John Walls got smart and copyrighted some of these greater creations to at least symbolically protect them in the growing market of headstone carving. I don't know a lot about the Schaefers historically at this point, but they clearly had money in that sense. And this is, one of what I call the hidden angels of Bonaventure. From the back, if you're just walking around, yeah, it kind of looks like a big headstone. And it's kind of tucked back here in the bushes, just astride the colonial garden. So a lot of people actually miss this beauty, but it's one of what I call the hidden angels of John Walls, and just a gorgeous creation. But gang, Shannon Scott, your story angel of the day. I hope you enjoyed that little bitty and some of the description there. But this is the kind of the stuff that we do out here, and also now in Laurel Grove Cemetery. And that's the thing. Anybody can give you a tour of Bonaventure and Laurel Grove and other cemeteries, but can they really take you on a historical journey? That's what we do at Bonaventure Journeys. So you can keep up with us at bonaventurecemetery.com, Instagram, Bonaventure Cemetery. Also, we have Facebook pages, various. Just look for Bonaventure Journeys. Remember, not tours, but journeys. And if you have any questions, or you're looking for some other video content for me to pick up on and do, I'm happy to hear about it in the comments section below. But yeah, tell your friends, come see us, and it's been a real honor to story you, and we'll do it again soon.